That's a goalless draw today against a side who look like they could be condemned to relegation this season. How much of a frustrating result was that for you?
Yeah, it is based on first half performance. If the game would have been the game over the 90 minutes would have been the same as the second half, I don't think you can have too many complaints. But the first half domination and opportunities we had, you have to win that game. And yeah, so there's obviously disappointment and frustration because we've done more than enough to come away with 3 points, and if you do take the opportunities we did, and there were plenty of them, then in the second half it becomes a completely different game, more a game that we can play on the counter-attack and more, like I say, opportunity where we can potentially hurt them.
So it's still playing in the right kind of way, but that's 3 games out of the last 4 now where you've failed to find the net. Is that a concern for you?
If we weren't creating anything, then it would be a concern, but I think certainly second half, you can look at first half and say that the quality, if you like, at the top end of the pitch has let us down, and people need to take responsibility for that. They should be scoring the opportunities that some of them aren't, like I say, aren't difficult chances we have to score. And people, again, ultimately, if it continues to happen, it comes to a point where you'll always probably question what you bring into the team, because you have to score in those situations. And the second half, if I'm being critical, and I will be with them, then our quality, not only our quality in the final third in the second half, our decision making was poor. There's a difference between backing yourself and being selfish, downright selfish, and too many people with that second half. Again, you can see it as a positive that you're saying, oh yeah, I can get the ball and I can smash the ball in from 30 yards. That's fine if there's not other options on. There was other options there, and we picked the wrong pass and not put the crosses in with a belief that we're going to go in there and score, and that's like I said, that's a frustrating bit second half.
In terms of the bigger picture though, before today's game, Fylde were 8 points better off than we were this time last season. Where do we go from here, and what's the kind of target for the rest of the season?
For me, again, 8 points better off is irrelevant really, because if you were saying Aldershot can say that they're 36 points worse off or whatever, it makes no difference. It ultimately is where you are at the table. If we were 8 points better off and we were 4 points clear at the top, then that would be again a different scenario. We're not saying, if you're saying to me now that our points tally from last year at 74 points I think we got will get us in the playoff positions, then great, that we're 8 points better off, but that makes it completely irrelevant if the playoff total this year is higher than it was last year. So we might not be any points better off really than we were last year. So it isn't a case of where we were last year and what points we're on compared to what we are this year, because it's a completely different league with different teams at the top with different games to play, and we've got to make sure we get enough points to get in the playoffs. Then we can start looking at potentially finishing as high up as we can. Again, great that we're better than last year, but at the minute it's not meaning we're in any better position.
With that in mind then, obviously 2 home games next week, home form's been pretty fantastic this year. Just how big of an opportunity and almost a necessity is it to win these 2 games next week?
Well, again, I don't know. Again, you look at, are they a necessity? I don't know they're a necessity. It's hard because, again, we could say, oh yeah, it's a necessity that we win them 2 games next week, but we have no idea what results are going to happen this afternoon, what potentially happens next week. Yes, we've got to take care of what we do and we want to win, and we'll go out to try and win, but again, whether they are must win, I'm not too sure. If we'd have been, I suppose, competing and wanting to get in on that top spot, then again there's a difference between winning and drawing. I suppose going to Leyton Orient on Tuesday for us, we felt was a must-win, because that could have thrust us into giving us a chance to win top spot. This afternoon it was a different one. You're talking at the end, is it a game that ultimately you're willing to lose in order to try and win? And what do you go completely gung-ho in terms of substitutions you might make? I'm not too sure it's at that stage yet. But what we have to do is make sure that we're sort of clinical, take the chances that we've created, because like I said, we've created more than enough there to make sure we win today.